Well, hello there and welcome to this video on Microsoft Excel and the basics of what Microsoft Excel is and why so many organizations use it so much. Now, basically, you might wonder whether it's just not a kind of strange version of a word processor like Word, and you can use it kind of like a word processor. You can type things in. And you'll probably see some familiar icons if you're used to Word up here. You can format text, you can change the font, and you can, change the color and all that kind of stuff. But the real strength of Excel is that it's used to analyze data. It's very good at analyzing data, and that's the point of a spreadsheet. So, we've got some data here. This is airline profitability data. And if I just show you kind of the greatest strength of Excel or any spreadsheet, basically it's formulas. And so we're in this cell here, H2. And let's say we want to know the difference in this load of data we've got here between the operating profit in column G and the turnover in column F for each one of these airlines listed in column C. We can click into H2 there and we can put in a formula. So we can type equals and then just use the cursor keys to move the highlight across, and we can have F2 there, minus, and then G2. You can also use the mouse to click on cells to add them to a formula. And there we have the difference between the turnover and the operating profit. The amount of turnover that wasn't profit. So that's useful in itself. That's told us in quarter one, in 2010, Air Wisconsin Airlines had a difference, basically an operating cost, a difference between the turnover and the profit of 90,000, well, effectively here, $90 million dollars and these aren't real figures, by the way, $90 million dollars of cost. I'm sure Air Wisconsin Airlines would love it if they were. But yeah, so that's told us that answer for that row, and that's useful. But the real strength of Excel is that you can then drag the formula down. So there's a little box there in the bottom right hand corner of the cell, and we can drag it manually like this, or we can just double click on it to drag it down automatically, and it'll populate all the way down the side of all of the data and do that formula on all of the lines, and it'll automatically update the references. So in this cell we typed in F2 minus G2 because we're in row 2, but as we've dragged it down in the next cell, it's automatically updated it to be F3 minus G3 and F4 minus G4 and F5 minus G5 as we go down. So it's automatically updated the formula based on how we've copied it down, which is very useful. And also the other useful thing about it is that if these numbers change, the formulas will automatically update. So let's say the profit was, I don't know, the profit number was changed to 5,000. And now you can see that number is automatically updated to increase by the difference. So yeah, we've now got the accurate up-to-date number, and we can change any of this data, and the formulas will update. And then as you go on, sheets get more and more complicated. You can have other formulas that look at these formulas, and these formulas are looking at this data, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, that's in essence the real point of using Microsoft Excel, that you can have data and it's quick and easy to analyze it with formulas. And the formulas don't necessarily just need to be mathematical equations, X minus Y or whatever. They can be, there's many functions, and there's videos on this channel on many of the most useful functions in Microsoft Excel, so please check them out if you're interested. And they let you do lots of different analysis in terms of if statements and many things, but I'm not going to go into them here. Other useful stuff that you can do is, if we just put a column header in here, we'll just call it cost for the sake of easiness, and we'll just copy the formats over. Just click on Format Painter there, click on column on cell H1, copies the format from cell G1. But yeah, other quick useful analysis things that you can do is, if you highlight all the column headings, you can basically put on auto filters. So if we then click on the data tab there, you can see that there's the filter button here. If we just click that, we've now got little downward pointing arrows have appeared in the bottom right hand corner of all these cells. And what that means is that we can now go in and we get given a unique list of all the different entries in the carrier column. So we can unselect all, for example, and say, oh, okay, we just want American Airlines and Republic Airlines. Click OK, and that's automatically filtered that list for us. Go back to select all, and you can see the whole list again. And you can use that in a variety of ways. We can go in here into the cost one and say, okay, well, we only want those that are greater than 100,000. And then okay there, and that's now removed all the entries that were less than 100,000. You can see in cost now there's nothing lower than 100,000. So that's a list of everybody that's making the most money. Yeah, and that's basically how auto filtering works. You can also use these menus to sort. See, we've sorted the smallest to the largest there, so the ones at the top of the list are making enormous losses, and the ones at the bottom are making enormous profits. And yeah, so we can sort in both directions, and sort by colour as well, which is if you've applied any kind of formatting based on colour, then it'll sort by that as well. So yeah, that's auto filtering. So the normal functions as well that you're used to in other applications still work. Cut, copy, paste sort of things. So we can, for example, highlight some cells there, and we can, on the Home tab, go to the usual cut, copy and paste stuff up here. So we can copy that and go over here, and we can paste it. You can see it's pasted across what we copied, and we can drag the cells, or drag the columns rather, to change the sizes. Useful trick is to make a column fit all of the data that's inside it. You can just double click on the right hand side of it. So we double click and it fits round the data that's in that column. And if you've got a sheet, let's just select all of this and make it so it doesn't fit. And if you've got a sheet like that, you can select the little kind of diagonally pointing triangle there in the top left between the A and the 1, and that'll select everything on the sheet, and then just double click on the right hand side of column A, and it will fit all of the columns on the sheet to the data that's contained within them, which is quite handy, you know, especially when you've got huge sheets with lots of columns. Nice, handy, quick trick. And the same works as well with the rows. You can, if the rows are all too small, like that, you can just double click at the bottom of row 1, and it will fit all the rows to the data that's in them. Also, you can insert columns and delete columns. Just right click there. We just selected the whole of column C there just by clicking on the C heading above it. If we right click, then click insert, it will give us a blank column in there. Same works for rows. And also we can delete columns like that we don't want, and we can delete multiple columns just by dragging. So, and you know, all of these things work for rows. So yeah, that is the very basics of Microsoft Excel, and hopefully gives you an idea of why people use it. There's plenty more videos on the channel if you're interested in finding out more. But for now, thanks for watching.